I went to art school to learn how to be an art teacher, and I did my entire thesis research trying to figure out how to translate um, what graffiti knowledge and graffiti education looks like from within the graffiti community, like writers teaching writers, crews mentoring younger recruits, all of that way that we genuinely have learned from each other and have tried to like code switch into academia and make these alignments and translate and say, well, when graffiti writers talk this way or they think this way, it actually means this other stuff. Um, and I'm like, I think I'm okay at doing that now, like being a high school art teacher, being certified for the state, um, making those connections across cultures between graffiti and education. But the more that I'm in it, like the more frustrating it is, the more disingenuous it feels, the more that I'm questioning, like, does that even matter? Like, does the way that value in art education um, matter to graffiti as a practice, to graffiti aesthetics, to graffiti as a culture? Like, do I need to keep putting that sort of school academic lens over graffiti? Or does graffiti have its own merit on its own? And we don't need to be translating. We don't need to have that credentialization process. And that's kind of like, I'm half and half. Like sometimes I fall on like, well, we do need to be legitimized in order to be part of a larger value system. We need to be recognized in order to be compensated appropriately. But the other part is like graffiti as a political disposition goes against conventions and norms. And why should we stop with with how we value art? Like, why should we say all of a sudden, like, oh, but in terms of art, we need to fit inside this canon of how art has operated for centuries? Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know. I can do both. And I think maybe that's where I'm just like on the 50-yard line. Like, can graffiti matter in art education? Yeah, but do we care as graffiti writers? Probably not.